Hey everyone, obviously I'm not David C. Anderson. I'm one of the producers that puts his videos together. I'm also not in the office right now. I'm on my vacation. But before I left, David handed me a knife and asked me to put it through its paces. See how it is with kitchen prep. Funny. Now some of you are already familiar with this behemoth. It's the Cold Steel Chaos Kukri. Now, I'm not entirely sure what David had in mind when I told him that I was visiting a cabin in the woods by a lake, but while there is plenty of nature around me, I do have access to a grill, a refrigerator, and a grocery store. I'm not exactly roughing it out here. This is a pretty relaxing place. While I'm here though, and I've already got the cameras, I might as well give it a shot. I've already done my grocery run, so I got some steak for the grill, a little chicken for a salad, and a bit of produce here. Now, I have a background in a couple different restaurants over the years, working with several different chefs. But that does not make me a chef myself, so don't mistake anything I do today for any kind of culinary expertise, let alone kitchen safety. I mean, this is a kukri I'm working with after all. Now, chef or no chef, I do know a good first step to food safety is to start with our vegetables. So I got some romaine lettuce here. I'm not going for anything fancy, and this is mostly going to be just a place for the chicken to lay on. And honestly, that's worked pretty well. There's a lot of belly here that I could play with. And I still got a pretty reasonable edge, even though someone once used this to hack down a tree. I mentioned some beef earlier, and it's hard to think of a better friend to steak than potatoes. Now, I could bake these pretty easily, but that wouldn't really show off the knife, so I got something else in mind. This recurve section actually does a pretty good job of skinning these. But frankly, I'm going to be here all day, so I'm going to cheat and use a vegetable peeler. Now let's get to slicing. And this feels so awkward. Something this big. What I'm running into is the shape of this blade means the finger guards here aren't gonna let me cut anything flat. But if I kind of back it off a little bit, it's pretty awkward having the handle so far out back that, and your cutting is so far away. Actually, you know, I think I may have found a technique here. Actually, these rocking cuts work pretty well too. That's just so long and awkward. If I was cutting a slightly softer vegetable, this little draw motion would probably be easier. I can use the weight of the blade to do most of the work for me. Well, that was a bit crude and imprecise, but no less effective. These potatoes are probably going to be pretty lonesome by themselves, so let's get an onion in there. See, I can use this recurve section to break through that first skin. Here's where a smaller knife would do a better job. I'm actually having some trouble getting through because this blade is so thick. And now I think, like the potatoes, I'm able to use that draw motion. So far I've been making some pretty big cuts. That would be a bit of a job for a paring knife, but nothing for a chef's knife. Well, what if we went small? Now, I've got some garlic here I want to use to make a marinade. Let's see how this does at mincing. There's of course the trick of peeling garlic by squishing it. And this big blade actually does a pretty good job of that. Now this part has me really concerned, so what I'm going to grab a little closer, see if that helps out with anything. And I can't say this is the best idea I've ever had. Even reaching up forward, I got so much weight behind me and I'm having to fight it, and it just doesn't get you in a good rhythm for chopping small stuff. Even here with this rosemary, which I'm going to spread on our chicken once it's ready, this is really awkward. So, not recommended. Get a smaller knife. Before I go much further, I'm actually going to rinse off the kukri. This is a carbon steel blade, so corrosion's an issue, but it's got this black coating on there, which would help a bit. I'm mostly worried about that exposed edge there. This is where it gets a little tricky because I don't have that fine control. I'm not really trimming this fat, I'm more scraping it, really. Get these guys out, get a little rosemary on there. And I'm actually gonna lay these out for later because we're not firing up the grill just yet. Now, moving on to our steak. And I didn't want to buy a lot, so I just bought some strip steak. It's already pretty much prepared for me. There's not a lot for the knife to do, except maybe cut open the package. Of course, now that I'm looking at this knife, this handle though, if I reverse my grip, could be a meat tenderizer. No, I'm not doing that. That's a dumb idea. Throw these in a bag. Get our garlic in there as well. And then I'm not going for any specific recipe, I'm just kind of faking a marinade. This is about the knife, not the recipe. Now come to the part of the equation where heat is involved. Got the grill out here and it's a little dirty actually, but I am noticing that this pommel right here looks like it'd be perfect for scraping everything off. Okay, so perfect is a bit of a stretch. You're really better off using a wire brush. But you know, that'd work pretty well for cracking an egg. Now our grill's nice and hot. Let's get our potatoes on there. Start laying out some chicken. Not a lot of space on this grill, but we'll make do. This is working out pretty well, actually. Okay, so I don't have the best dexterity with this. Probably easier to just use these. It's cooked pretty well, actually. All right, let's get these guys off of there. I'm a big fan of marinating stuff in bags. It's a little easier to get full coverage. Whoa, I'm liking this. Yeah, I definitely chopped way too much garlic for this operation, but I'm the one eating it. I like garlic. All right, I'd say we're just about done here. I've taken a peek at our potatoes and I believe they're done, so just gonna lay them right on top of the kukri like that, carry them inside. Our potatoes have cooled down a little bit on the wok bin, so I can just unwrap this. And we'll slide all our potatoes in there. Now let's get our chicken ready for this salad. Yeah, but then again, it is such a big knife. It's not so great at slicing protein, but you do kind of get to crush down on it. Now let's get to our final plating. Got our romaine lettuce from earlier. Just gonna get some grilled chicken right on there. Like I said, I'm not being fancy with my salads. I never am, really. This is just a nice place for chicken to sit. So we've got our steak right there. So we get some potatoes, because I like starch. And of course, in my opinion, no plate really feels complete unless you got some bread on there. Then we got one last party trick. This is actually an excellent spreader for butter. So the kukri did a fair bit better than I expected. In my personal opinion, if this was all you had, it could do you in a pinch. But quite honestly, with so many kitchen knives being out there for the express purpose of food preparation, I can't recommend this for daily kitchen use. It's really just too big for everyday kitchen uses and too thick to be an effective slicer. But if you wanted to use this for cooking, best I can recommend is as a machete. Go out, find some green sticks for roasting over an open flame. There's a lot to be said about the Chaos Kukri though that is good. It's got a lot of reach, strong steel. This handle is actually incredibly comfortable, does a good job protecting your fingers, and this knife has a lot of uses, just not in the kitchen. If you want to get your hands on one of these, click the link in the description to head on over to KnifeCenter.com. But if you're planning on cooking, do yourself a favor and check out our wide selection of kitchen knives. Your table guests will thank you.
Can you put that away now?
Nope. But before I left, I need the knife. It's the food channel featuring KnifeCenter. Don't let your voice crack. You sound like a prepubescent. I didn't plug in my mic.